Can you gain weight on Ozempic and other medications like it? If you want to learn more, I'm going to talk about this next. I am Kevin, the weight loss dietitian, and if you like this video and want to see more content like it, go ahead and click the subscribe and like button and drop any comments below. I've seen over 4,000 clients for weight loss, and certainly these GLP-1 agonists, Ozempic, Zepbound, Mounjaro, Wegovy, those are the biggest ones, have become more and more popular. And they work by mostly decreasing appetite. They aren't magical. They don't cause fat burn in a magical way. They essentially slow down digestion and make us feel more full and decrease appetite. If your appetite is decreased for long enough, over days, weeks, months, you typically eat less and lose weight. They are powerful medications and they can be quite effective. However, there are some people that can actually gain weight while taking one of these GLP-1 agonists, and I'm going to talk about the main causes. So number one, they don't have a structured or any kind of meal plan at all. They're kind of eating whatever. They may be eating out. They're not following any kind of nutrition plan. And you're going to get better results if you have some type of nutrition plan. What are you eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks? Are you getting adequate lean protein, not high-fat proteins? Some protein like turkey or chicken breast could be 40 calories an ounce, whereas other proteins, high-fat meats, for example, cheeses can be about 100 calories an ounce. So not having a nutrition plan, not having a structured meal plan, the results won't be as good, and some people actually don't lose weight and gain weight. There can also be what's called an adaptation phase where you actually get hungrier and they may eat more and gain weight. So if you've been on the medication for a while and you feel like your hunger is starting to increase, you may actually have a period of weight gain while you're on Ozempic. Liquid calories are another one. Now, liquid calories like alcohol would be the biggest one. If you're gaining weight while taking these medications or not losing weight, alcohol should be severely limited or avoided. Depends on you, but alcohol on average is 150 calories per serving. If some of these IPA, dark beers that have higher alcohol content, they could actually be over 200 calories for a 12-ounce bottle or can. Sodas, sweet teas, lemonades, energy drinks, other beverages that are 100 to 300 calories per can or bottle, that can cause weight gain even if you are on one of these GLP-1 agonists like Ozempic. The coffee drinks are big too. So you can have coffee drinks, Starbucks or wherever, you're getting them, they could be hundreds of calories, loaded with fat like cream and added sugars, and that can cause weight gain as well. You find that you're stress eating. So if you're on a medication that reduces appetite, but you have certain triggers like stress eating, you may find that you're overriding your natural feelings of fullness, and if you're stressed, you're bored, you're anxious, you're nervous, you may be eating more calories than your body needs, and you could be gaining weight even if you're on Ozempic or one of the other medications. Emotional eating as well. You're not using what I call the 50% rule, okay? Ideally, you want to make half of everything you eat non-starchy, veggie, or fruit, or some combination, so the calorie density of your meals decreases. Now, another one to consider here is loss of muscle mass. If your appetite is greatly reduced, okay, by being on the GLP-1 agonist, and you're not getting enough protein and resistance training, ideally 2 to 3 days a week, then you may find that your metabolic rate is slowing because you're losing muscle mass and the weight loss stops, or you may even start gaining weight again. So it's important to strength train, resistance train, weight training, upper and lower body, at least 1, but ideally 2 to 3 times a week. And ideally you want to do all major muscle groups of the body. And for the upper body, that's chest, back, arms, shoulders, and triceps, and core or abs. And then lower body, the main muscles are going to be glutes, the rear end, hamstrings, quads, and calves. So if you could do at least one exercise for every major muscle group at least once a week, you're going to ideally be maintaining your muscle mass during the weight loss process and not losing weight. And not gaining weight. All right, so appetite may be increasing, loss of muscle mass, eating high energy dense foods, right? That's why I like the 50% rule. You want to make half your meals non-starchy vegetables and fruits. You could be drinking too many calories, that can cause weight gain. And I'm going to add one more last one here, and that's, in addition to needing strength training, someone is very inactive. So I find that while you don't need to be running marathons, of course, to lose weight, and I actually separate out weight loss and physical activity, if someone is sitting most of the day, and they're only getting maybe 1,000 to 3,000 steps per day, if you're tracking with a pedometer, or most phones have apps on them, or you can install an app to track your steps. But for most people, you want to get 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day or more. I had a client once, she was already taking Ozempic before she came and saw me, and she had not lost any weight. She was struggling, and she was on a good dose of Ozempic. Part of the issue was what she was eating, but she was really immobile. This was a former nurse who had an injury, and she was mostly wheelchair bound, and she struggled losing weight, partially because she was so inactive that the amount of calories her body was burning throughout the entire day was very small. So there you have it. These are your main reasons you could be gaining weight. Maybe you've hit a weight plateau, but you need to watch your nutrition. Even when you're on these medications, you need to stay physically active to get your steps, 70,000 steps per day or more. You need to be doing strength training at least 2 to 3 days per more. I'd also recommend cardio 30 minutes or more daily, whether it's walking, biking, swimming, hiking, or running. Cardio 5 or more days a week plus strength training 2 to 3 days a week will help you become more active. Metabolic rate will be higher, you'll burn more calories, and you're going to get better results with weight loss. And lastly, you do really want to be following a structured meal plan, and that doesn't have to feel so difficult. You've got 1 or 2 options for breakfast, 1 or 2 options for lunch, and a few for dinner, and you know what to food shop for. Your house is stocked with what you need. You're creating habits and routines instead of being on an all or nothing diet. Keep it focused, have some structure. If you slip next meal or snack, you get back on track. One last thing I forgot to mention here is your dosage. Now, some people aren't losing weight or maybe even gaining weight if they're not on the appropriate dosage of these GLP-1 agonists. So you do need to check with your provider, the provider who is prescribing the medication, to make sure you're on the right dose for you. There you go. If you have any questions or comments, drop that below. And you have a healthy day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll talk to you later.